Hello friends! In today's video, I'm going to have a little bit of information in regards to right-sizing versus downsizing and some of the things you have to consider before you decide to make a move. Welcome back to my channel, friends. My name's Nicole Smith. I'm a realtor here in Metro Jacksonville, Florida. And in today's video, I want to break down the difference between right-sizing versus downsizing. Now, sometimes when we get to a certain level of our life, we do not want to be bothered with certain items anymore. And one of those things may be housework. So if our home is a little too big for us now, our kids are grown, they've moved, maybe they're in college, maybe they've already married and started families of their own, but the house we're now residing in is way too big for us because we don't need all the space, and frankly, we don't want to clean all of it. So sometimes that might be a trigger for some people to make a decision that it's time to get a right size for us. Another thing you have to consider is, where will you put all the things you already have? So if you're going to make a decision to move, then you have to make a decision of what you're going to keep, what you're going to sell, what you're going to donate, what you're going to give away. And that is an emotional decision. Sometimes people are attached to their things and they do not want to get rid of them. So that's something where you have to do a personal inventory of your things to make sure that you're making the right decision before you right size, because there might not be enough room for all your things, and that could have a very, very emotional effect on you. What you also have to consider is there could be some tax implications. If you purchased your home 20, 30 years ago, your taxes are not going to be as high if you purchased a new home in today's market. So that is something you would have to go over with your certified accountant, your financial advisor, some professionals in your life to find out about what the tax implications are. The other thing you have to consider is your mortgage payment. Now, at this point in time, perhaps your mortgage is completely paid off and you have all that equity. Therefore, maybe your next move, you don't even need a mortgage. So in that regards, it may be a win-win for you, and you can buy something nice and even have something extra. It's something you have to go over with professionals. I can help you with that as a realtor. We can go over equity, what your property is looking like it can sell for, and what you're considering purchasing, if they're close to the same. There's a lot of different options out there. So I would suggest calling me and setting up a consultation so we could go over some of those data points. The other thing you have to think of when you're making a decision to either right size is, will you have enough space for your family when they come to visit you? Do you want to have space for them? It's a decision you have to consider. Do I want spare rooms, an office for myself, or a craft room? Do I want a combination room? There's a lot of options, but you have to really think about what do you want as far as space for your family if they do decide to come and visit. The other thing you have to consider is perhaps buying a property where there's no lawn care and no pool maintenance, which means in some properties, those are already part of your fees. And in other properties, they might be extra. So you have to make those decisions if it's part of your budget. Or maybe you already live in a home right now where you're taking care of all the grass and all the pool, and it's getting too much. The maintenance is getting too much. So that may be a good reason to change where you live. The other thing you have to consider is capital gains. So like I said in the other example, if your home is worth way more now than it was when you purchased it, you're going to have capital gains. So you're going to have to talk to your CPA, your accountant, your financial advisor, and find out what would be best to do with your capital gains. And in most cases, people need somewhere else to live. So buying another property is always a good decision. And that's something that I can help you with. You also have to think about your property taxes. That is something that will change when you're buying a new home that has a current tax evaluation on that property. Typically, your tax assessor is not updating the taxes as frequently as you think they are. But when that property changes hands, they will do a new assessment, and that value of that property will go up, and you're not going to be paying the same taxes as the prior owner. You're going to be paying new taxes. So you also have to consider that for part of your budget. And the most important thing is really to do your own self-research. Are you ready emotionally to let go of some of those things that you've had in your home, that you held on to, the memories you've created, or perhaps we're not as healthy as we used to be, and we're struggling with our self-care. Those are just some of the things I want you to start thinking about if you're considering right-sizing versus downsizing. Financially, you have to think of it. Emotionally, you have to think of it. And having the proper people in your life to get sound advice from is very, very imperative. What I do here in Jacksonville, Florida, is I try to match you up with the perfect property for you. And if you're moving from Connecticut, New York, California, Idaho, Ohio, I can help you anywhere. If you don't have a professional realtor in your city, I have a network of 190,000 agents that I can work with to help you wherever you live. And I service everywhere from Fernandina down to Palm Coast in the Northeast Florida. And I know agents all over this state, so I can help you anywhere. And I mean anywhere. I even know agents in Portugal, in Australia. I know agents everywhere. And I make it my business to make sure I have relationships with these agents so I know who would best be suited for you and your needs. So make sure you like, subscribe, share the video. I'll leave a link in the video below so that you can get a link to my calendar and we can set up a consultation today. Let me be your go-to realtor that will help you get the best for your life in your situation. And remember, life's too short not to be loving where you live. And I'm living the dream here in Jacksonville, Florida. And maybe you can be living the dream here too. Thanks for watching, friends. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them below. Bye for now, and have a blessed day.